Hi guys, how are you? Welcome to my channel. So you've probably been wondering where I've been for the last few weeks. I've been a busy girl. Now I've got the flu. It's not bad. It just feels like a tight little chest with a little cough. So hopefully I can get through this video without starting to cough or losing my breath. But other than that, I'm really good. I feel fine, just this little cough. So what you're probably wondering, what is she up to today? Now, because I haven't really made a video for a couple of weeks, let alone a project, I've sort of been finishing off lots of projects. I'm really itching to do a project. So as I've been catering for a house full of people, I think we had 10 here for 5 days. My husband's man cave, his pinball arcade, as he calls it, has had its grand opening. So he invited some of his chums from the industry of pinball, and then there was friends, and then there was friends of friends. So on that Saturday, the evening swelled to about 30. And then there was various days that some of the groups sort of went on their way. So there was a lot of meals and a lot of party, and it was great. We had a ball. A lot of people haven't seen where we're living, and our friends across the lake, their family came because we know Kevin and Mary Ann's sisters and the nieces, and most of their kids have worked for us at some point. So it's a very extended family. So Kevin and Mary Ann's house was full to the brim. Our house was full to the brim, and we all met on that Saturday night and enjoyed the man cave and a fire. It was brilliant. But now I'm like, got to get back stitching. So I've got a little bit of news too. I haven't said anything to you about my up and coming adventure. And I thought, let's make something for up and coming adventure. And then we can sort of roll on into that adventure, if you know what I mean. I'm going to Japan. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. About 3 weeks ago, Patchwork Ninjas fabric textile tours. It was just kept popping up on my Facebook feed. I've known about them for years. They're a Brisbane-based business. They've been taking people to Japan on textile tours for so long. And you know, when the ad's saying only 2 spots left, only 1 spot left. And then also my buddy Dawn from her channel, Dawn Meldrum, she's going to Japan. Now, Dawn and her friend booked it months and months ago. So I've had Dawn in my ear going, I can't wait to go to Japan. I can't wait to go to Japan. And I'm like, oh, for goodness sakes, I wish I could go. But due to the big pinball grand opening weekend and my retreats at the end of June, early July, I sort of just put it out of my mind. But I did get into making all the kits and everything for the retreat. So I was technically 4 weeks ahead of schedule. So typical me. So I've got Patchwork Ninja pulsating in the background on every time I picked up Facebook. I've got Dawn in my ear like a little worm going, oh, I can't wait to go to Japan. So fear of missing out, FOMO, big time. I just started looking into it, and I realised that I had enough points on my frequent flyers to get free flights. So I was like, Then I raced out to Gaz. He was working in his shed. This is pre the party. And I said, Gaz, I could fly to Japan for free and just have to pay for the tour itself. And I said, I am up to date with all my videos and all of my kits and things. I'm going to do it. So I did it. I booked it. And I sent a message to Dawn and said, guess what? I'm coming to Japan with you. So, enough yibba yabba. I need to make myself a project bag like you do. Every time we go somewhere, we seem to make something that's themed for something. And I've had this sort of project in the back of my mind, not Japanese influence, but the overall project for some time. Now, a little while ago, as you know, my dear dad passed away. And a couple of years ago, my mum did. I'm not getting teary. It's just I can't breathe. And I was chatting to a friend of mine, Diane, and she makes a lot of bags and things for her business. and she highly recommended this. I ended up finding the bag at Dewdrop Inn and in Harvey Bay. And then out of the blue, Dawn must have got the same thought. We have so many thoughts that come to us both, but yet we don't talk about the thought. Do you know how that happens? It's really bizarre. Anyway, Dawn picks up the pattern and she made this bag on her channel. So what I'll do is I'll link the series of Dawn making this bag. She doesn't go into all the detail because, of course, you've got to go by the pattern. But what I did notice, having watched that, is it was an epic task. So it sort of put me off of it a little bit, like I need time to make it. So my plan with this pattern was to make a bag out of my mum and dad's clothing so that when I travel, they travel with me. Now, my mum, I've kept all of her denim skirts. It was classic mum, little denim skirt. She was a farmer's wife, so the fabric was strong. They were easy to wear, and Dad always had a checkered blue something shirt, whether it was for good wear or farm wear. So I've kept all of Dad's shirts and I've kept a selection of Mum's denim skirts, and I've got in the stash white, pale pink, grey, lots of denims, a black and a this sort of colour, a khaki colour. So I went to the stash and I pulled out one of the skirts and one of the shirts. These two spoke to me. So what I want to do is make myself a bag influenced by Japan. What else was my criteria? That was about it. But what's sort of influencing me is I'll put this away because I don't have time for that, and I don't want to stress myself out because I have a feeling I might be getting sick. Well, I am getting sick. You can hear it. So maybe the next few days I need to just chill out. I'm up to date on all my washing. All the beds have been washed. The house has been cleaned. So I'm ready just to sit and stitch. I haven't chatted to Susanna for ages or Dawn. So I really do need to, catch up with the girls. So for the last couple of weeks, and I showed these at my birthday, this book here. So that's where this denim thing's in the back of my mind. I so love that colour palette. And I've been pouring through these books for 4 months. There is not one bag in there that suits what I want to do. They all look complex, and I have a feeling my brain is not going to handle the complexity of, look at it. So we don't even want to go there. But I just love them. So I've had a bit of a thumb through and gone, yeah, I definitely want to do a bag. It'll be Japanese inspired with a twist of me, a twist of mending. And let's take Mum and Dad with us. This little handles I've also had rolling around. I had picked them up, I think, Purveyor of Textiles. It could have even been an op shop. I did have plans of making a pouch using them inspired by Kate in the Nest. Hi, Kate. But I just haven't got to it. So that'll be another project another day. So the handles, I believe, are going to be used. I need it to be secure so nothing falls out when I'm traveling. So I'm going to attempt to put a zip in. This is the biggest zip I've got. It's not probably big enough, but it'll do. I think I can make it work. So I've got the zip. This is the little denim skirt. Look at my mum. She was such an itty bitty girl. Let me zoom up a little bit. My mum was tiny. I certainly didn't go with that gene pool. I went more to my father's side of the family. So this little skirt is perfect. I think my mum, this was an 8. I just cut the little tag off. You couldn't read it anyway, so I got rid of the little tag. So we're talking a small denim skirt. So if you did want to do this project with me, go for a really small one if you need to swing into a thrift store to pick one up. I couldn't use my skirts because they'd be they'd be a sack. We need a small waistline here. So we've got to get ourselves to the point where it's sealed with a zipper. I'm going to attach the little handles so that I can grab it and pick it up So I want it to be more like a bag than a pouch. So I think that'll be a lovely way to use the handles. To attach the handles, I'm thinking of just creating a tab. I wish this opened because I had them at one point through here. I'm thinking, oh, look at that. That's perfect. But they'd slip off. And then when I flipped it over, like usual, the ring is in the wrong spot. So we could unpick that and insert it through. That's not a bad idea, because it would be cool to use that. Let's do that, because I could restitch that. Yeah, I'm going to, so just bear with me, because I've literally just sat down with a few books and said, yes, let's do something. So we're going to problem solve a few things. I'm going to do that. See how it's just too perfect not to. Yeah, we'll do that. I'll unpick it, bring them through and reattach. I'm pretty sure I could find some gold brown thread. I love the colour tones on this piece of clothing. I love these buttons, the filigree buttons. Can you see those? Aren't they just pretty? And the other detail I liked was this. I thought that's really cute. And then when you look inside, see how the manufacturer has printed this gold floral print? That's really cute. So, zipper won't be needed. Look how tiny it is. It's just the cute. She was just the cutest little thing. Pockets will be stitched closed. We don't need them. And things are going to fall out anyway. Most likely, once I stitch it closed, I think I'll trim this off. We don't need it. I'll get rid of that bulk and stitch them closed. Now on the back here, maybe I can relocate these. Or there's some fabric left. They've used two-tone thread. How fancy. Look, dark and light thread. Can you see that? See the two tones? Very clever. Look at these. They're gorgeous. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So the back, we can undo him and get him on and move these in here. I think that's what we'll do. So that's an easy way of attaching. Now, to seal it up, because I do want it to be sealed up. Otherwise, I'm going to be sitting on the plane and things are going to fall out, and I need to know I can just zip it and things are safe. This is my little zip. And what I thought is I could stitch it by hand, because it'll be a nightmare to do on the sewing machine. If I just pin it, find the half. If I just pin that there, and we'll just go as long as the zip is. It's probably about an inch too short at either end, but I don't think that matters. Nothing like slow stitch. We make our own rules, don't we? Oh, I just watched Juju's video with her hearts and her 80th. Oh, just adorable. Absolutely gorgeous. Hi, Juju. Happy birthday. My heart's still coming in the mail. Good old Australia Post let me down. Hopefully it's in Sarah's hands by now. All right. Pinned. So we'll turn it inside out so that we can pin the other side. And I'm pretty sure this should work. If not, we'll come up with a different way of doing it, but I am confident. See how there's the side seams there. See how we're about that much short? But I'm not worried about that, you know, because I can put a little running stitch in there to cinch it in, which probably wouldn't be a bad thing. So if we pin that then there, we'll bury the zip a little bit into the, see how there's the top edge of the waistline? I'm pinning it down the bottom so that we get this, you know, the zipper's internal a little. I have to tell you about my handbag incident. When I was in America, I didn't tell you guys at the time because there was just so much to show you and tell you, but I bought myself a handbag. I don't buy handbags. I'm not a handbag girl. I've got a satchel handbag over my shoulder. I've had it for like 30 years. It's leather. I just love it. It's just tough. But when in Vegas, I bought a really nice handbag for myself, but it's still got that casual vibe. And I said to Gaz, if I'm going to invest in this bag, I want it so that I can still wear it. So it's got cream and that navy blue tones, and I wear jeans all the time, so it works really well with that. But it's a little bit precious, and it's been sitting in the cupboard. And Marianne, my friend, teases me. She said, "You've got to take that handbag out. Otherwise, if you don't, you'll never use it. It'll just sit in the cupboard." And I said, yeah, I know. So birthday night, handbag goes out. So I'm strutting around like a peacock with my handbag over my shoulder. I love it. It matched my jeans really well. Fancy girl here, not. And Marianne gave me one of those hooks for my birthday that you open it up and the circle sits on the dining table, and then dropping down from it is a hook so you can hang your bag on it. She's been using it for years. I have had one, but our last house break-in, when the little ferals stole everything in the drawer under my bed, on that towel was costume jewellery and bits and bobs, hair ties, nothing to great value. But my handbag holding hook was there, and it's gone. So very disappointed. So when it come to take my handbag out for dinner, the handbag goes out for dinner. It's funny. Marianne gave me one of these hanging hooks because I had told her I don't even have the hook, and oh my goodness, it's too precious. It'll get dirty. No, I can't do it. No, I got to do it. If I don't do it, I won't use it. You got to use it. Life's too short. All this stuff going through your head. So we're out at a Chinese restaurant. Those big circular tables. We decided, it was about 8 of us. It was the start of the big pinball weekend. It was about 8 of us. So we thought, let's go out for dinner. Went to the Chinese restaurant in town, all sitting at the table, and we ordered, that looks good, that'll work. We ordered the buffet menu where you get 15 dishes to share, all that type of thing. And we had a young lad, you can hear what's coming, can't you? We had a young lad serving us, and he was very nervous. And I was in the seat where, as you approach the table with a bowl of food and lean into this huge round table, you're passing over my shoulder. And he come from the right, he come from the left. I was right in the action. I didn't even think about what could happen. My handbag's hanging to the side of me on this hook, slightly under the table. Out come all the meals. We're having a lovely evening, chatting away, and it was just fantastic. And then it happened. He brings out this dish that has this really sloppy sauce, chili, honey, sloppy sauce. And the boys, Gary's brother and one of our mates were sitting opposite me. So they saw it happen in slow-mo. They saw him coming as he was slushing this sauce across the room, making his way to the table, and it was dripping off everywhere. And as they're, when you're going to say the words, no, too late. In comes this thing, and at the corner of my eye, there's this bloop, bloop going onto the white tablecloth next to me. And I'm like, oh, am I wearing this? Didn't even think of my handbag. Just thought of me because, drizzling down my shoulder and arm is chili sauce. Then I felt a little bit go on my elbow. At that time, I'm now looking at my elbow, and I look down at my handbag, and there's a slop of this sauce over my handbag. Oh, you would not read about it. So anyway, this kid, bless him, he's like, his heart's pounding. Everyone's going, no. So cloths, tea towels, rags come from nowhere. to mop up the sauce. Luckily, where it landed on my bag is just leather. There was no stitching involved. That was my biggest fear is, you know, this stitching. If red chili sauce got into that stitching, it'd be forever a little area of red chili sauce. But no, it didn't. I was very fortunate and it was just a drizzle. A little bit went into the bag, but once again, it was on leather and it was just a drizzle. So I was able to clean it up. Oh, I tell you, this child of a waiter, he was mortified. The poor kid. Oh, I felt for him. That'd be something I would do, seriously. So, yeah, now the handbag's been christened. I don't care now. It's, yeah, off to Woolies we go. Anyway, beside the point, let's get back to what we're doing. That's going to work. I'm going to hand stitch that in. And then this gap, I've got a couple options. We could put a little pleat in there just to bring it in. I'm tempted to do that. And then, like I said, we'll bring these handles on the exterior. I'll relocate the straps to suit. Right, that's done, tick. Now the size of the bag, let's have a look. I did grab a piece of paper here. I'd like it to be able to hold, you know, at least an A4 page. That way if it's a pattern. So I'm going to cut a little bit down here. And I think I'll do a boxed corner. You know, when you sew a square into the corner, it helps it sort of to sit. Even if aesthetically it'll make it look really cool, it might be too floppy to actually stand like a pouch does, but I think that'll be a nice detail. So I'll cut there. Let's have a look at the back. That maintains these little pockets. Yep. And then what we'll do is I will create a lining out of this shirt, and then I can slip stitch. Now, don't open the buttons because they're going to be forever closed. I will slip stitch that lining. Let's flip it. That's what we'll do. I will slip stitch. I'll get rid of that. I'll cut this to size. Turn it over to get a neat edge, the piece of fabric that I salvaged from there, and slip stitch that into there. And then the bottom of the bag, the bottom seam, I won't stitch that closed. I'll leave it open so that I can get my hand in there and we can then embellish. Yeah, that's what we'll do. And as for the style of stitching for embellishing, we're going to do a bit of this. I'm thinking about cutting into the fabric, the denim, so that I can see this through and then mending. So I want to have a play with that style. I've got my little sashiko stash of Japanese fabrics here, but I'm thinking about getting my little stencils out and doing a little bit of this as well. So that's the plan. So you can see the colour palette, you can see the embellishing we're going to do. But first I need to construct my bag, get rid of all this excess fabric, and then I've got my project ready. So we might leave it at that. I'm going to say goodbye. It was really just to pop in and say hi, I'm okay. I'm looking forward to a trip to Japan. Can't wait. I'll be taking you guys along with me. In the meantime, I've got about a week. I'm going to make myself a bag. It's going to be influenced by Japan, and it's going to bring my mum and dad into a project using some of the textiles that I can salvage from some of their old clothes. All right, guys, I'm going to say goodbye. Today's Thursday for me. You will watch this on Friday. That'll give me a couple days. So the next video will be more about what we can do to the bag to make it, slow stitched, embellished. So there you go. That might be a Saturday video. It might be a Sunday video. But thank you to all the kind comments too in our Facebook group saying, where's Corrine? We haven't seen her for a while. She's still here. She's just socialising. She has finally a social life. We've had a ball. All right, guys, say goodbye, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye.